Where's your chaps?
No, he's chapped.
Chapped. I didn't say I had chaps. I said I'm chapped.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, communists and freedom lovers of all ages, welcome to the Life Short Live Free podcast, episode 58.
Why are we welcoming communists?
Because maybe we'll convert them. You know, maybe if
you're a convertible communist, you're welcome here. But if you're hardcore, no, get the fuck out of here.
That's right. See, we're opening to everybody as long as they're open minded.
Now we're
come on over to our side.
People are gonna blow up on us. You're pandering.
Pandering.
As I said, this is episode 59 of the Life Short Live Free podcast. It's a nice night. We're recording on a Tuesday night, actually, which is or Monday night, which is strange for us. Have we ever recorded on a Monday night before?
I'm pretty sure we have.
I think we have once or twice.
We got quite a few of these episodes, so I'm pretty sure we have at some point. But yeah, we got a couple sponsors I want to get to. Before I forget, I got to read it off this here sheet because I'm not that good yet. But the first one is Ballistic Imagery, as photography, videography, and wall art for those of us that love freedom. Take your business to the next level by giving it the look it deserves. They can provide you with product photos for your website, lifestyle shots for an advertisement, content for your social media, wall art to spruce up your shop, or even filming a full-blown commercial. Whatever ideas you may have for your business, if it involves a camera, he's your guy. Or if you're just a regular dude or dudette looking to hang something like this, or even this on your walls, check out ballisticimagery.com and use coupon code LSLF2021 for 10% off your order. Also, follow them on Facebook and Instagram. Ballistic Imagery, bulletproof quality.
And also, if you didn't catch any of those quick images during the this, or this,
just close your eyes and imagine.
You guys can pause it. We can put a split in there.
You're gonna have to pause.
Hey, that was my first time reading an advertisement.
I meant to have them read quickly, actually.
I'm surprised that you didn't go more into the 30-second radio ad.
Well, I'm sure I will down the road.
Super fast. You know, like the side effects on a drug.
Yeah,
ad.
where you can't understand it.
You can't understand it. They're saying it so fast.
Yeah. So yeah, anything to add to that, box?
Nope.
All right. Our second sponsor is Shyworks Cerakote. They are Iowa's customer preferred Cerakote applicator, serving the nation over. We do a ton of work with UPS and FedEx, so you know, no matter where you are, we can get you covered. Check us out at shyworks.com. It's got all sorts of our photos of products we have done, or jobs we have done. You can get mag bases, magazines, back plates, patches, shirts, all sorts of cool stuff at shyworks.com. Use coupon code LSLF10 for 10% off your total order. Make sure you check us out on our Instagram and Facebook and Gab, MeWe, and Parler as well. We're always posting cool shit, so go check that out. So, all right, boys. How the hell did you guys America this week? Box, you're wearing that shirt that says America. You better American something really freaking awesome.
I don't really do many things. So I participated in capitalism.
That is an excellent answer. Excellent answer there.
That's probably going to be my answer about every time because I don't do much. You know,
and that's exactly when I was coming down here. I was like, how's he going to answer this? And that's exactly what I freaking said. Thought you were gonna say.
Yep.
Johnson, how about you? How did you America this week?
I got a horse.
Oh, you're a cowboy now.
Yeah.
You're a real American.
I guess that.
Where's your chaps?
No, he's chapped.
Chapped. I didn't say I had chaps. I said I'm chapped.
Yeah, I guess you're not going to be riding that little guy for quite a while, probably.
No, it'll probably be a little bit before I hop on him.
If you're wondering what we're referring to, Johnson has food poisoning, so he's kind of a pile over there. But we'll cover for him. It's okay. It's okay.
I'm sitting here freezing like I'm about to start shivering. But
Are you really cold?
But I'm also sweating.
So, that's the worst.
You know.
That's the
real
worst.
enjoyable.
Pound some of that whiskey.
No, I'm gonna go ahead and pass.
When I had the vid, that's what I had the fever and shit, and it was that's just not much fun. Oh, so how did I America today? Thanks for asking.
How did you America? Not
This
today.
week?
This week.
Well, actually, it was over a week ago. But I finally got back out and shooting. Obviously,
So
Johnson.
that's not this week.
Yeah, but technically, if we would have been recording yesterday like usual, then it would have been within the last week because it was that Sunday we were out there.
Okay.
But anyway,
All
so
right.
I took the old lady out shooting out to the Life Short-Lived Free Range out at Johnson's place. Damn, it felt so good. It felt good to just get back out there and start blasting shit. It's been a long time since I've been out, and that was super nice. And then we grilled some fat ass steaks. Nothing more America than shooting guns, drinking beer, and grilling steak. I enjoyed it thoroughly. So,
Other than the fact that I overcooked everyone's steaks.
no, they were still good. Overcooked is like generally steak or that's my weakness as far as like I can grill. I'm a mean grill master. But steak, I have a hard time getting to the way that I like it, and I like it pink. Just a warm pink center. And sorry.
That's how I like everything in my life.
So yeah, that's usually my weakness. Just because, and the reason why is I love grilling so much. Like I don't want the experience to be over. I'd rather just crack a beer and sit there and enjoy the smell and the everything. Box, how about you? How do you grill your steaks?
Well done.
Get out.
Put ketchup on them.
You get out right now.
No, medium rare is the only fucking way to do it, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You think I'm some kind of communist?
Well, we're hoping to convert a few, so I don't know. Hey, commies, if you're listening, how do you like your steaks? Bland and well done?
If so, stop it.
Have you seen that?
Seek some help.
There's a picture that went around the internet several years back, I think. It was some Snapchat or something. The only way to cook your chicken, medium rare.
Oh, God.
No, I think you got the wrong meat there.
Take it from my butthole. Don't do that.
Yeah, that's a bad idea.
Yeah.
Speaking of bad ideas for you, at least, Johnson, why don't we move on to the whiskey of the week? You're not going to be participating in this week.
No.
It's a shame because it smells real good.
Go ahead
Sissy.
and pass.
Come on, brave it.
No.
Live life on the edge, man.
I'm already on the edge of shit in my pants. I do not need to. If I try and get any closer to the edge, I will be over the edge.
So, if you're not aware, our podcast studio is on the second floor of an old building, and there's 3 levels. Obviously, the basement, and that's where the bathroom is. So, if he has to
make an emergency exit,
he's got to go down 2 flights of stairs into the dingy bathroom in the basement. But this week's whiskey of the week is Sheepdog Peanut Butter Whiskey. I picked this up at Hy-Vee a couple weeks ago, specifically for the reason that it says sheepdog, and just because of obviously in the 2A community, there's the whole sheepdog thing. This is a peanut butter whiskey. It's a whiskey with natural flavors, caramel color. So it's I
read on the front of the bottle it's 70 woof.
Yeah, they put 70 woof and then crossed off the W and put PR. 70 proof.
But clever bastards.
It doesn't say anything about it about like the Second Amendment or anything like that on there. So I wonder if it's just they thought it was a cool name for it and decided to go with that name.
I'm guessing.
But it smells freaking delicioso.
It's probably somebody that has some sheepdogs, I'm assuming.
Yeah, Box, how much you want?
Not very much.
How's that?
A little too much.
It's got a good nose. Give it to Johnson if you don't want the rest of it.
Here, Johnson. He gets the bottle.
So it smells good. I mean, it's what's your initial nose?
Smells like peanut butter whiskey.
Yeah. And it's I think Screwball's like $35-$36, and this was less than 20.
How many woof is Screwball?
I think
Probably
Screwball's-
35.
I think
Same.
Screwball's 80.
I don't think so. You might be right, but I feel like it's 70. But then again,
Yeah, most
I
of
don't
these
know.
it seems like at 35%.
Have any hanging out over there, do we?
Negative.
Negatory Ghost Rider. It's got a. I mean, it smells like peanut butter whiskey. We'll give her a little snort.
Give it
here.
a woof. It's very sweet. It's not as smooth as Screwball, I don't think. It's smooth, but it's got a bit of a burn to the mouth.
I think it's about the same as Screwball. Actually, I had some of that apricot Revel Stoke the other night. And that and the peanut butter, my two favorites, but it's about exactly the same as this, to be real honest with you. I mean, they taste extremely, extremely similar. 6.2 out of 13, or out of 9 wolves. Wolves.
Wolves.
Wolves. Wolves. Wolves.
I know everything there is to know about wolves. Where they make their nests, where they lay their eggs.
What's that from?
Donnie Baker.
Fucking Donnie Baker. I swear to God, I did.
I swear to God, state law.
So what's your thoughts? What's your ranking of it, Box?
I think Screwballs might be better, but it's been a very long time since I've had Screwball, so I don't know. It's still pretty good. I'll give it 9 out of 12 wolves.
Was there an L in there?
Wolves.
Yes. 2
Okay.
O's and an L. Kumar?
Woofs?
What the fuck
Wolfs?
is that? Like 4 O's and 2 U's?
Got 4 O's and 2 U's.
Yeah, I think it's pretty good. If Toad was here, he'd drink
The
the
bottle
whole
would be
bottle.
empty. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think like all these peanut butter and super sweet flavored whiskeys, we'd have to go through and kind of do a sampling someday and see what is what. So we've had so many different peanut butter ones. We've had like Revelstoke, Screwball, this one. I know we've had a couple more too.
Have we?
I'm pretty sure.
I don't know as if we had we have a bunch of flavored. I don't know what other
I feel
peanut
like
butter
we've had
ones.
3 or 4 different peanut butter ones.
But you know what? I bet we wouldn't be able to differentiate between the 3 or 4 of them. I bet they're all so
Doubtful.
freaking close
Yeah.
that you're never going to be able to tell the difference.
Maybe that's what we should do. Have a blind test.
Blind taste test?
Yeah.
Speaking of which, and this is the craziest thing. There's my girlfriend bought her
I
brother.
can smell the peanut butter out of your guys'
Yeah.
glasses.
It smells really good. But my girlfriend got her brother and sister-in-law this thing for Christmas. It's like you put it in the top over. That's what it was. You put it over the top of your wine bottle when you're pouring it out, and there's magnets and shit in there.
Oh yeah.
And so what it does is I actually don't know what the hell it does. So the wine just flows through there, and it's supposed to make it taste better. And I'm like,
It
well,
magnetizes the
well,
wine.
and I'm
Yeah.
like, well, this is stupid as hell. This can't possibly fucking work. This is dumb as shit.
This is a gimmick.
Right. And I shit you not, we did a blind taste test with every single person. We did the side by side. The one was without that, and the one was with it. And every single person, there was like 5 of us, picked the one that had been the one that went through that. So somehow it was actually working, because I mean that was 100% success rate for us. It was noticeable difference. It was very weird. I don't know how the hell that works.
So where did you get this thing? You guys were doing that with wine?
Uh-huh.
Let's try it with whiskey.
Yeah, she got it in Holstein. I can tell her to pick up another one at the liquor store. They got a hell of a liquor store out there apparently, because there's not anything else to do in the middle of nowhere where Holstein
I
is.
mean, look at the size of Rems, and I'm pretty sure there's like 4 bars in Rems.
Yeah,
they're
they're
of 1,400 people.
They're-
Got 4
There's a
bars.
nice gas station there
nice.
at Holstein. Yeah.
Oh, Holstein.
Yeah,
You said Remsen, I thought.
I was talking about Remsen, but
Oh.
yeah, he's saying out in Holstein there is a nice gas station. They even got a Hardee's now.
Yeah.
In the
Really
gas
uptown.
station,
Yeah.
Yeah. Hardee's kicks the shit out of McDonald's.
Oh yeah.
I hate McDonald's.
I do too.
Anyways, why don't we?
Just really got out of hand there.
Yeah, what are we talking about Hardee's and McDonald's for? We're talking about Screwball whiskey, but anyways, let's yeah. If you like flavored whiskey, give this stuff a try. It's definitely worth it. A little bit of ice, and it's a delicious little sipper. I enjoy it. So the McCloskys were back in the news.
Isn't it the McCloskys?
McCloskys?
Yeah,
McCloskys?
something weird.
I'm pretty sure it's Closkey.
Either way, if you don't know, if you weren't familiar with them, they're that couple in St. Louis that the BLM broke down the gate to their private community and were marching through the streets, and they were standing out in their own yard holding firearms, obviously, because these were known. I mean, protests had turned violent many, many times.
Well, when they, destroy property, aka break the gate down to a private community,
right?
That kind of
And the funniest thing was they're like, well, these are mostly peaceful protests. It was over 10%. Over 10% of BLM protests turned violent. I'm like, if you knew a dude that was violent 10% of the time, that's not a mostly peaceful person. That's a fucking psycho.
I mean,
statistically,
it is.
Yeah, that's a fucking psycho. He's only violent 10% of the time. Oh, super.
That's still majority, so he is technically mostly peaceful.
Okay, but society-wise, he would not be allowed in public. But in public, I wasn't drunk in public. I was drunk in a bar.
And they threw me into public.
Wow, this is just a total mess of an episode. But anyway, so they were arrested. The McCloskys were arrested and charged with what were they charged with? Brandishing or some shit?
Her charge was fourth degree. Oh, shit, I can't remember. 4th degree misdemeanor or something. His was 4th degree assault, and hers was harassment. No, his was a misdemeanor as well. They were both misdemeanors.
Okay.
His was like 4th degree assault, which is a misdemeanor, and hers was like harassment, some kind of harassment charge.
Mm-hmm. So this had been going on for 6 months.
No, this is a year.
Over a year now.
It was June 2020 when the original protests went through their neighborhood.
Sure. So I mean, they've been back and forth. There's obviously this whole politicized thing. Conservatives on their side, lunatics on the other side. But finally, the court, they apparently pled guilty the other day, which really surprised me. I was not expecting them. I was expecting them to get a verdict of, not guilty, obviously, because they weren't. I certainly didn't expect them to plead guilty, but supposedly they just got basically a slap on the wrist, a couple $1,000.
Yeah, I think his fine was $750 and her fine was $2,000, and then they had to turn over their firearms. Which,
to me, I would have a hard fucking time signing on the line and saying I was guilty and giving up my guns. They, to be fair, I think they only gave up those guns that they used.
Yes.
And that they're not prohibited or anything, so they already went out and bought new guns. But to me, I would have a really freaking hard time saying, giving these jackasses the pleasure of me pleading guilty when I know that I'm innocent and I didn't do anything wrong.
Says here he told a network that he pled guilty to the 4th degree assault charge because, quote, that's exactly what I did. He said he couldn't argue with the charge, which was purposely placing people in apprehension of immediate physical injury when it was presented by the prosecutor, because that was the whole purpose of the guns. I mean, he's got a point.
Yeah. The whole purpose of me brandishing a weapon was to make people fear that they would get hurt if they got any closer. I mean,
yeah, but
I guess I get it.
But technically he had every right to do that. Other than pointing, maybe it was because he was pointing the guns at them.
Probably.
I mean, because his wife was a lot more, squirrely with hers than he was, but at some point he still flagged them essentially.
Yeah.
And I wonder if the charges would have ended up the same if he had just had it like on a sling down on the, pointed at the ground or whatnot, or if they're. I would have had a real hard time saying, "Yep, you all right over there?"
It's a dangerous game to play, but I just
Need to make a run for it.
won
Dan?
that round.
You know, Johnson, we took a lot of time picking out these chairs. Please don't destroy one of them.
No promises.
So yeah, I was surprised to see that. But the funny thing is, and these guys are they're like master trolls. Like months ago, they were handing out like signed to people that were like pissed off and yelling at them and shit. Yeah, they signed postcards. Oh, here you go, and just not giving a the thug life type. You know that.
Yeah.
But so they went out and bought new AR-15s, and immediately he posted a photo. Hey, look at my new gun, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And those fuckers got so much money. Probably they don't.
Oh, yeah.
They live in a private gated community. They're both lawyers. You know, that was just like buying a freaking Snickers to them. I'm sure.
This says here that he posted that, but he still has to wait for the background check to be complete. Which I think they bought him on Thursday or something, and it's Monday right now.
Yeah.
And I don't know, what are the chances the ATF turns him down or delays it like they do?
It could happen.
Would it be accepted now, or is it 3 business days?
See, in Iowa, it's almost immediate. Like there's
I guess you don't know much about that, do you?
No, because there is certain states that there's a required waiting period, but Iowa's not one of those.
I don't think Missouri's one of those either.
I don't think
Missouri's a constitutional carry. It's
right.
Like 2A sanctuary state.
Right.
They're kind of a...
And that's one thing that people think is a federal thing. Like, oh, there's a waiting period. No, there's not. There's like, as quick as I can, I fill out the 4473, the background check on my computer. And many times, just the other day actually, as soon as I clicked the submit, by the time it loaded the new page, there was already the response of proceed on there. It was like f***ing that. There was nobody. It was just an automatic deal.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, but I wouldn't say that's very likely. But they might have flagged him in the system. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. And if they got carry permits, they wouldn't even have to fill out background checks.
I'm assuming they don't.
Supposedly. It wouldn't surprise me if they did, but you're probably right. They probably don't. But either way, that was master trolling. Like that. Like that's Trump level shit. Hey, we just pled guilty, but look at my new shit. Yeah. You know. Also of note, he is running for Senate, right, Johnson?
For Missouri, yeah. So there's whoever the current senator is done and out, and since he's kind of made a name for himself, he wants to kind of be somebody important for the 2A community, you know, kind of be a voice for the Second Amendment community in Missouri, and wants to take over this guy's seat. So he's running for the 2022
U.S. Senate, right? Not Missouri Senate.
Correct.
Well, good. Use a kind of springboard off his popularity there.
But he clearly doesn't know much about firearms. So what are the chances he's actually, if he wins, he'll actually be good for the Second Amendment community?
I feel like
why would he be any different than any other Republican jackass that doesn't know all about guns? Clearly, they don't know much about firearms.
I think there's a good possibility that could be the case, but I don't think he's going to vote for any anti-gun anything after his situation.
And plus, that it could you're probably right. They clearly didn't know a whole lot about him, but instances like that, and many times will cause someone to get more training. And I hope that's what they did. And I hope they did get more training. He educated himself a little bit. And that wouldn't be. I would say he's probably going to be a solid ally for the Second Amendment, just because he's experienced that. These guys were in front of his house saying they were going to kill them, murder their dog, shit like that. Like he knows what that feels like.
It's almost like the ATF was after him,
right?
Maybe it was the ATF in disguise. Maybe BLM is ATF.
Oh shit!
Well, yeah, you always hear
we just cracked something open here, boys.
Yep.
You always hear abolish the police. You never hear abolish the ATF.
Except for every week on this podcast.
It's pretty common for us. So I don't know. I hope he when's that guy up for re-election?
2022. Yeah,
It'll be interesting, very interesting midterms. Whether,
I think it'll be very gun control versus pro-gun.
Mm-hmm.
I think that'll be the majority of the midterms that we see.
Oh yeah, yeah. They're going pretty heavily communist. And actually, speaking of communist, David Chipman's hearing vote, in the committee.
Yeah,
that's this week.
Is going to be on Thursday, and that's already been delayed twice.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of rumors going around that there's rumblings whether they have the votes or not, because they have to have. Well, Republicans have to get every single to stop it. They have to get every single Republican plus one Democrat, and they might be able to get Manchin from West Virginia. And the chick from Arizona, like Sienna or whatever the hell's, it ain't Sierra, but you guys know who I'm talking about. So it'll be very interesting how that plays out. I would not be surprised if he gets in, but I don't see Manchin voting for him because he lives in a very pro-gun state, and he's one of the, I don't respect him, but he's one of the few that he toes the line and he says, listen, bitches, this is how it is. I'm not going to be fucking persuaded into voting for shit that I don't approve of. So
that's probably why they're delaying it, trying to convince him to vote.
They're trying to fucking blackmail him into,
The biggest thing is doing what your constituents want. It's not about what you want.
Not really in this day and age. Just
I know, but
politicians are worse. They're the worst.
It's not supposed to be about what. Oh, I feel this way. I'm a Democrat, so I'm supposed to vote yes on this or no on this. So
it's all party.
I have 40,000 emails telling me not to do this.
Yeah, it's all party line. But and that's like, I don't like the guy, but I can respect him that he at least toes that line, and he says he goes against the grain a lot. Obviously, he sides with Democrats a lot. But he is one of our few chances to stop this fucking psycho in there. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it plays out. I'm kind of excited to see how the committee vote goes and whether they ever do get it to a full vote and whether he gets in or not. So it'll be interesting. So if you are listening to this and your senator is kind of wishy-washy, make sure you're hammering them on that issue as well as braces and firearm. The ATF redefining the definitions of firearms.
I saw the other day. It was a few days ago now, I think. Right on Friday or Saturday or something like that, we had 79,000 or 70,000 or something like that comments on the brace one. So we're closing in on what we had last time, where they turned her down or turned it off, and so keep commenting. We're not even close on the 80% thing.
No,
so I don't know why
people don't get that. People don't understand the that is even to me the redefining the term firearm.
Oh, that's far more important.
That's far worse than these pistol braces.
Yep.
But people don't understand that.
That's like the bump stock thing.
Putting a pistol brace on anything if you can't.
It's like the bump stock thing. Like, I don't plan on making any firearms, so what the do I care?
Yeah, but these people don't understand that when they even in these you post this shit in these the Facebook gun groups, like Glock groups and stuff. There's no reaction to it. Everybody just scrolls on by. But they don't understand that when they go to buy their new RMR slide with the fancy slide cuts and everything, guess what, bitch? You're not going to be able to buy that anymore. That's got to go to your fucking gun shop, and you got to get a background check for that slide. Yep. But people don't understand that, and they don't, because it's not, what's the word? It's not a sexy issue like stabilizing braces are. They know they love stabilizing braces. Oh, these are fun, but it's not sexy like that. So I don't know. We'll see. I
don't find braces sexy at all.
I do. They kind of turn me on. In fact, that one right there, I sometimes I look at that gun and.
You didn't do anything weird with that thing before I had it, did you?
Yeah, I swapped out the brace for some other thing.
Oh, you swapped out the brace. That's okay. As long as it wasn't the brace itself.
Did you see that? You didn't notice the inside of the brace of that Joker gun, did you?
No.
Got a flashlight in it?
No. When you open the brace, there's a dick button. It says surprise.
That's for James's customers, man.
Yep. James said it. James says he would take the blame. I was like, okay, it, I'll do it. I don't care. Well, what it is, it's going to a raffle group. There's this big raffle group on Facebook.
Yeah, you can't hardly bitch about that.
And no, and the whole gun it says, did you see that gun, Johnson?
I did.
It says haha ever, like
Yeah.
the hundreds and hundreds of ha-has all over that thing. It took me hours to laser that bitch. So anybody that gets it, they're going to think it's freaking hilarious, and unless they're a lame ass anyways. Actually, the person that won it was in New York. He couldn't get it, so they had to raffle it again.
What an idiot.
Right? Yeah, so speaking of like states you can't send shit to and stuff you can't do, there's a lot of businesses, and I just actually was dealing with this today, that refuse to do business with gun businesses. The first time I ran into this was like a year ago. My payment processor, I was using them for like a week, and then they discovered that I painted guns, and we can't work with you. And I was talking to him. I says, you guys understand that I don't sell guns, right? I paint them. I'm basically an artist. Yeah, well, yeah, we know. We don't want to work with you. I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm not going to give you my business.
Thanks,
I guess you're going to be a fucking douche canoe about it. And today was my insurance, my gun insurance for my business that went up like 25 to 30% because the insurance that my provider was going through dropped firearms. So they had to go somewhere else, and that was way more expensive. So this is going to be how they freaking get us. How they end up regulating firearms is just make it so absurdly expensive to do anything in the industry that everything's got to be so damn expensive. That's pretty fucking frustrating, and
It's how they think they're gonna get us.
Yeah.
They make it that hard to where it's impossible, and no, that's the tipping point.
Who's you pay?
On that side.
You use Wave as your payment processor?
Yeah.
Yeah. That it would not surprise me if sometime they were checking you out and they see that you deal with guns, and they call and they.
I don't deal with guns. I just take pictures.
I paint them.
Yeah, you handle them.
I
just take pictures.
Yeah, you're probably right. You'll probably be fine. But it's just frustrating to see where they're going with this shit. And like, there was Sons of Liberty Gunworks posted that. Did you guys see that thing?
Yeah, with Arc'teryx.
Yeah, that says, "Oh, we don't feel like working with you anymore." It's like, okay, well you can. And then what really got me was this bitch had the audacity, had the self-important. Fucking what a bitch. She had the self-importance to put her pronouns at the end of the
email signature.
That's normal in that community though.
Like, bitch, why this is an email chain. I don't care what you call yourself. Like, does she actually think that I'm going to refer to her in the correct pronoun when I respond to her email after she just told me to fuck off? Like, that cracked me up. I thought that was freaking hilarious. Anyway,
pronouns, they, there.
Okay. Right. Yeah, they obviously don't understand English because they is a plural term, but
right.
Whatever. But that's it's only going to get worse. It's only going to get harder, and it is harder to find payment processors and insurance and all sorts of that shit. So I don't know. I'm kind of worried where that's going to go, whether that's going to totally hose us or.
You kind of trailed off there.
Could be.
I Joe Biden it. Anyways.
Anyway.
I do regularly get my prints denied on. I have a Facebook shop. Those do get denied on Facebook regularly though.
Because you're selling pictures of guns.
I have to appeal everyone. I just type into them. This is nothing more than a picture. And you hang it on your wall. It's the equivalent of printing out a piece of paper of a gun.
Well, they deleted that one video that we were selling your pictures because they thought we were selling guns.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's just, like, the absurdity is just, ugh.
Yeah.
Makes me sick. Makes me sick.
Communists.
Fucking
Convertible communists. Fix the
Rest
dumbass
of the
communists.
First of all, quit being a communist.
Yeah. That's at the top. That's at the top of the to-do list.
Convertible communists. I like that. That'd totally be the name of this episode if we still named him like that.
Well, why can't we?
Oh, well, I guess we can. Convertible communists. Oh, man. So I don't know. We'll see where that whole thing goes. You know, it's only going to get worse as the years go on. But
Yeah.
It's frustrating. It's very frustrating. But
I came across something the other day. I don't remember what it was. It was like a bank or something that was specifically for 2A businesses and stuff like that, I think. I didn't look too much into it, but I imagine there'll be more and more things like that popping up.
Well, that's my
the harder and harder they make it, the more and more of that stuff you're going to see.
Absolutely.
Well, and there is people that are solidly on our side in business. They're either, you know, solidly 2A pro gun, or they like f***ing money and they don't care.
Right.
F***ing money doesn't even sound fun.
Well, I mean, it depends how it's shaped, I suppose. But
how you gonna f***ing die?
No, I totally lost my train of thought. Totally. I was gonna say Blue Dog, my payment processor, that they cater specifically to the firearms community. So there is those, and
are those
is our. I don't talk good.
Maybe that's the one I saw as Blue Dog. I'm not sure.
Yeah, they're
that
just
could
a
have been
payment. They're not a bank, but they're a payment processor.
I feel like it was bigger than that though. I don't remember. Oh well, I'll have to look it up sometime.
Yeah, I don't know.
Heck, I don't know.
What is that quote? Easy times create weak men. Weak men
create hard times create strong men.
And the process continues.
Mm-hmm.
There was a video that I saw it a couple days ago, and I clicked on it today and was watching it. The Warrior Poet Society. This guy's a very intelligent individual. It was just him sitting there talking about how he feels that our generation is the weakest generation in the history, probably of the world.
I would agree.
And this is something that we talk about quite often on this podcast, and I tend to agree with him. Because the problems that we think we have, they're not fucking problems. And one point he brought up that was interesting to me was the lowest rung of our society, the bottom of our economic system, the poorest of the poor, still live a better life in America. You're just struggling.
Cough.
They still live a better life in America than any of the kings and emperors of years past.
Well, it's funny that even our fucking homeless people are fat.
Mm-hmm.
That's the part.
And have
that makes me
iPhone
laugh.
15s or whatever
Yeah.
the number they're up to right now. What are they up to anymore? Do you guys know?
I don't know. I just know Moody got an iPhone like SE or something though the other day. Like the very first iPhone that he could get.
The very first smart.
Very first iPhone, I think it was, or maybe the second or something like that. It wasn't even like an iPhone 1 or anything like that. He got it for $90.
He just converted from his flip phone. He refused to convert from flip phones, but they were, every time he'd open them, they squeaked every time. He had gravel and shit in them all the time. But then that's not really what I wanted to this our generation is weak, because we talked about that a little bit in the D-Day last week even.
Yeah.
I honestly believe that the generations have gone before us, like the World War II generation and stuff. They were some of the greatest generations ever, the sacrifices they made. But I kind of wanted to talk about, and we talked about this a little bit before the show. You guys didn't have a lot of input on it, but like the times that have made us, like the hard times in our lives that have made us like who we are. Like, I've had a good life, nothing catastrophic, nothing horrible, but at least times in my life that I can look back on now that I hated life at that point in time. It was miserable and it wasn't fun. But then you look back at it and you realize, wow, the values and the lessons that I learned out of that instance, that situation in my life, basically forged me into what I am now, and they've made me who I am now. Does either of you really have instances in your life like that? Or, I mean,
my brothers were assholes.
Your brothers loved you. We made you who you are now, Box.
Yeah, thanks for that. No, I've had I've had an outstanding life. I mean, it hasn't been like, ooh, super duper and all that stuff, and I'm not rich or anything, but
Right.
a lot of people this day and age, I think, would, if they lived my life when I was in school or whatever, they would be like, oh, I was bullied every single day and I just couldn't handle it or anything like that. I'm not saying I'm strong or I do better with that or anything, but that's what I went through. And I don't think a lot of people would be able to handle that these days.
No, not these days.
Not saying I'm tough, because I'm not. I'm a little bitch.
Well, compared to the freaking...
Compared to a 6th grader now, or even a college student now.
Well, compared to the guy from the 18-year-old in 1942 that's going off to war.
Wow. Yeah.
Every single one of us was little fucking bitches. I mean, and that's just the way it is. But Johnson, do you have anything in your life that kind of like jumps out to you that kind of made you who you are?
Not really. I think as far as there's a lot of times where I was really broke. I didn't grow up in a family with a lot of money.
Right.
We didn't really ever have a whole lot, but that it didn't seem that bad.
You didn't. But when you're a kid, you don't understand that.
No.
Yeah, that's true. I guess we never really had a lot of money either, but
that
was normal to me.
Right.
Like for the longest time, I had no idea that kids had to. I didn't even know you went to get lunch at school. You had the cards. I had no idea why kids couldn't get their lunch or anything, because we got like a grant or something.
Yeah.
For ours, so we got most of my lunches free for the majority of school. I had no idea that we had to pay for school lunches. Yeah. But because we always had a grant because we didn't have money to pay for it.
Yeah.
But I was oblivious to that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, there's been, my dad made a pretty good living. We lived with our mom most of the time, and mom didn't make much money, but other than financial stuff, like going to college, being a broke ass college student.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's like mine is mostly, I guess, financial. It's a mixture of everything, I guess. But that was the same, we grew up the same. Obviously, if you don't know, Box is my brother, so we grew up in the same family, obviously. But that's not something when we were growing up that I ever knew. I knew that if I wanted something, I worked for it. Mm-hmm. I mowed lawns, made $10 a lawn. And then, when they could, my parents helped me out. And when I was actually out of college before everything really clicked. I knew that we weren't freaking wealthy, but I worked my way through college. They helped me when they could. And I got out of college, and then I got into the real world, and I was living in Kansas City. And I remember one of my good friends was telling me about a situation with their parents, and they were telling me about the difficulties of it. And I had never experienced, shitty parents, because my parents weren't loaded, but they supported me unconditionally. I have amazing freaking parents. And at that point in my life, I didn't really talk to anybody that didn't feel that way. And then they were telling me their problems with their parents, and it finally just clicked with me, holy shit. And at that point in my life, I literally wrote an email to my parents, because I didn't open up to them a whole lot at that point. But I remember writing an email to them and being like, dudes, I finally realized you guys are freaking amazing parents. And I literally thank them for being awesome ass parents, because they are. They're super supportive. But that was also the point in my life when I realized what life was really like. And I've had a fantastic life too. I've been extremely lucky, mostly because, I'm willing to work my ass off to get, everything I have. And I've had a good life. But when I think back at hard times in my life, that in Kansas City is the time that I think of. And this was after you left Box, but because Box actually, he lived in Kansas City with me for
3 months. Oh, that was a fucking mistake.
What are you talking about? That was a fun 3 months, man.
It sure didn't end nice.
No, but it was fun while it lasted. But right after he left, or right, I don't remember if it was after or before. Did I get that job? Because I was unemployed when you were living
I don't
down there,
remember.
too.
By the end of it, I didn't give a about you, so I don't remember.
Yeah, Box didn't like me much when he left. But I don't remember where it was. But either way, so I got a job shortly after he left from down there. And life was good. You know, I was working at a restoration shop, making good money. He was paying me as a contractor or whatever, so taxes weren't coming out. So I'm living the high life, you know, young and dumb, 21, 22 years old. You don't realize when that tax bill comes that they're going to fucking rape you on it. So I was living the good life, you know. And then shit like kind of started to unravel a little bit, and I can't remember exactly what happened first. If I got a DUI out of that whole ordeal, because I was living in Kansas City. And looking back on it now, like, yes, I blew over the legal limit. I broke the fucking law. You know,
Yeah.
I was at fault. What happened was I was actually leaving a bar, and the cop was sitting outside the bar. And as soon as I left the parking lot, she followed me and pulled me over for going too slow, because I was going like, it was 35. I was going like 32. So she said that was suspicious. And also she said my tail light was out, and some other shit.
The speed limit apparently means drive exactly this speed.
Right? And when there's a cop behind you, you just left the bar, you're going to be like shitting yourself. But anyway, it doesn't matter. Like I broke the law. I was driving drunk at that point in time, and I fully admit that. But at that time, I was like, well, this is bullshit. You know, I'm going to get a fucking lawyer. Well, the only lawyer, you know, I couldn't afford a lawyer, because even though I was making good money, I wasn't fucking saving it. I was young and dumb. I just bought a new truck that I was making payments on as well. I got pulled over in that vehicle. Just got a new truck. So then the only lawyer that I could get was like, I think he wanted like a $2,500 down payment or some shit, which is a lot of freaking money for a guy like me. And at about the same time, I ended up losing my job. So here I am, freaking got payments on a truck, got an apartment rent. You know, we're renting a nice apartment. I got to pay a lawyer. I got all this shit coming down on me, and then I ended up freaking losing my job. And the only way that I could pay that lawyer was I went and I got a loan from it was like Citibank Financial or some shit. And the only loan they could give me, because I didn't have any credit, was a fucking 27% interest. I shit you not, 27% interest. And the plan at that time was, well, okay, well, I'll just fucking get this, and then I'll find another loan and get the personal loan and pay this shit off. And that actually was what I did a while later. But so all this shit was going together, and I got a job. Not really a job. I was helping my friend who I met at the previous job. He opened a new business, and I helped him open that, you know, so it wasn't like he wasn't paying me on a W-2 or anything. It wasn't a steady paycheck. He just paid me when he could, and I'd do jobs when I could, et cetera, et cetera. And I remember one day, like, all of this shit finally, like, I'm broke and trying to pay bills and all this shit and trying to get by. And I remember all that weight coming down on me one day. I was sitting in my kitchen. I was looking at the fridge, and I was looking for, I don't know what, something to eat in there. And all of a sudden I just got thinking about it, and everything just freaking hit me. And I remember I just started freaking sobbing, and I leaned back against the cabinet, and I just slinked down to the floor. And the girl that I was seeing at that time and was living with, she came home for some reason. You know, I didn't expect her to be home, so I didn't want anybody to see me like this. You know, that's like, for me to open up to somebody, you know, like weakness like that that's not who I am. But I just remember all that shit just finally freaking crashed down on me and got me. And I just, like, that's a situation in my life that I don't ever want to be in again. And it made me understand, like, the importance of finances. Finances can't make you happy at all. Like, even when you have money, guess what? That shit ain't going to make you happy. But what it can do is make you freaking miserable. Like, it made me at that point. Like, I'd been, you know, and I ended up moving home. After that, I came back from Kansas City to here in Pearson. I moved in with my parents for quite a while. I lived with them and finally got back on my feet. And I didn't tell them for a long time what all my issues were, why that I was going through all that stuff. And there's more to that story that, you know, that, and it went on for quite a while, that I fell into like a deep depression. Like there was other situations going on that I won't get into. But I was in such a deep depression that I didn't like, it's hard to describe like what a depression actually is. Like just like waking up in the morning, you're like, I woke up again. And like you're going through life with this black cloud. Like that was the way that I described depression. Like there's a black cloud in the front of your brain that it just, everything that comes into your, everything that you see goes through this black cloud, and it's just depressing and gloomy and shit. But I won't get into that now, but like those situations and those instances, like that I went through and then I saw that I could get through, like you can get through anything like that. Those molded me into like what, you know, the work ethic I have now and the way that I view things and who I am now and why I am the way that I am. Like all those instances, like, and I realized that wasn't even like that bad of a situation. Like the finances, they suck, but there's a lot of other people that went through a lot worse shit than I ever did. But like that's one situation that when I look back on my life, like that's part of the reason why I am the way that I am, I think. I don't know. That's definitely not that horrible of a situation, but it certainly shaped me, I guess. So, yeah, I don't know. That's all I got to say about that.
That's a great ending.
You guys are horrible co-hosts. You're supposed to like comfort me and like, you know, pat my leg.
Well, you were just like, all right, I'm done talking.
I don't know how to end the story. Like, there's more to the story that maybe we'll get into in some point in this podcast, but we're not going to dive into it now. But
should we have a segment called The Life and Times?
The Life and Times.
We just tell stories.
So
people like that shit.
To revert it back to the easy times make weak men. You feel like you're a stronger person after going through that, right?
100%. Mm-hmm.
So, and I think that's kind of a common theme, like with that deal that Warrior Poet posted, you know, is it's basically just, we have it so nice right now. Everything is instant gratification. Everything's easy to attain. Nobody has to work for anything. Mm-hmm. You know, it just makes a bunch of weak people who can't, like Bach said, you know, kids now, they can't deal with being bullied at school. They don't know how to put up with it. They can't mentally process it, you know. It just, so all this instant gratification and all how easy everything is just makes people weak.
100%. And that's one thing that I've thought for a long time. Instead of teaching our kids how to be offended as soon as somebody freaking looks at them slant-eyed, or, you know,
slant-eyed,
racist,
bigot.
See, instead of that response, like somebody, like instead of having somebody freak out if they're discriminated against, you know, there's a lot of discrimination going on still, you know, in the world, and there always will be. But instead of teaching our people to be freaking snowflake crybabies, teach them it doesn't fucking matter what that lunatic thinks. It doesn't matter if what that person thinks of you or whether he looks at you sideways. It really doesn't. You know, in the grand scheme of things, that guy. Who cares? Go on with your life and don't let him affect it at all. But instead, we're teaching them to be so freaking self-important and delusional that they're important in this world that they got to cry about everything.
They're being taught that everyone needs to accept them, and if they don't, then they're wrong and they're a terrible person.
Right.
They don't accept other viewpoints.
Yeah.
Of course, we're not super accepting of other perspectives either, but I, for one, at least try.
Having principles and being tolerant are two different things.
Yeah.
100%. And that's like they preach tolerance, but they don't mean it. They don't practice it. Because they don't tolerate my viewpoints, which whatever, I don't give a shit. You don't have to. Right. But yeah, it's
there's also a line there. There's a difference between tolerating and respecting. Mm-hmm. A lot of even if we just taught respect, It would change so many things.
Well, yeah, just don't tell people they're wrong if they have a different opinion than you.
Yeah.
You know, or you can tell them they're wrong, but don't try and make them the enemy.
Right.
Yeah,
like I can tell you, hey, somebody, you know, I don't think that what you're doing, the way you're living your life is correct, but I still fight for your right to live your life that way.
Instead, it's immediately lash out. Why would you believe that? You can't. Oh, I can't honestly believe you think that. You must be a terrible person. Okay, why don't you take their life? Think of things. Put your life in their shoes, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yep.
You don't know what they've been through. You don't know what formed their views. So how can you be like, you must be a terrible person?
That's one thing too. Like I have a hard time understanding like how these people can think the way that they think. But I don't understand that that's like, if that's the way they were raised, that's everything they were taught, everything they were told. Like that's the same reason I am the way that I am. You know, I was raised one way, and actually, like, quite a few of my opinions were formed of my own accord, and the things that I chose to the direction that I chose to take my life. But it's, you know, they are the way they are, the same reason I am the way that I am. Like that's all they've ever known, I guess. Yep. And you're not ever going to get across to a person and get them to change their views
by yelling at them.
When the only thing, by yelling at them, and I'm not any better than the next average.
I was going to say,
I will fully 100% admit that. Like on Facebook, I will just lambast into people, you know, just
you anti-American
communist.
Can't believe you think that.
Right. So I'm not any better than anybody else. I might be preaching at you about it, but I'm also extremely hypocritical. You know, that's just how it is. But I guess it is what it is. The only thing we can do is everybody just try to be better and understand that there are different viewpoints, and the only way to get your viewpoint across to somebody else is to calmly explain it instead of the name calling.
Have an actual discussion.
Right.
Try not to be a shitty person.
Mm-hmm.
Don't.
I mean, you can be a shitty person for other reasons, like we are, but don't be a shitty person for this reason.
We should just make a shirt. Don't be a shitty person.
Sure.
I'm sure there's somebody who's made that before.
I'm sure.
Box, let's play some games. Let's cheer this shit up.
Oh boy. You haven't even used our segue yet today.
I haven't needed to. I've just been blowing through this shit.
It's not the only thing you've been blowing.
I'm just going to edit that out. F*** you, Box.
I said that's not the only thing he's been blowing.
I won't.
How are we going to do this, Johnson? Are you even going to want to participate in this?
Not particularly. Let her rip.
Well, he's only got
we got 2 games that aren't even.
He's only got a 33% chance of
6 isn't even on there.
Johnson, you only got a 33% chance of being the target of our games anyway. So, if you guys are unfamiliar with, we roll 3 dice. We pick the numbers that correspond to the game, the player, and the punishment, and then we go from there.
Devil's advocate.
Should we? I don't know. Do we even want to play that one? Because none of us know how we're going to do it. Do we just pick? We got treasonous trivia, which isn't even treasonous because you guys didn't follow it. Or friend or foe or tongue war. Should we just do friend or foe?
I don't care.
Sure.
That's a fun one, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Look at the other 2 dice then. Who got chosen and what's their punishment?
Number 6.
I think that's me.
Well, we don't have. Yeah.
Johnson.
I knew it.
What's the punishment?
You're doing that wrong.
What's that?
That one's you just got to drink from your cup upside down.
He's not drinking anything.
Yeah, well, we can get him a cup. We got a whole pile of Solo cups over there.
Red Solo
water?
cup. I do.
We got whiskey.
I got water. I got water.
All right.
We won't.
That's not even a tough
one. We won't make you drink whiskey, Johnson. Just remember this. Just remember this when I'm under the weather someday.
We're respecting your hard times.
Thank you.
See, we're having a heart to heart and telling you our feelings, Johnson.
Yeah.
Do we want to take? You got some, Sam?
Today on the Feelings Podcast,
we can take turns
What's the what are we doing?
Friend or foe? This game here, folks, is we have quotes from either infamous people or famous people.
And it's my job to determine whether or not it's a good guy or a bad guy, friend
Correct.
or foe.
Hold on. I got
3 out of 5 wins it.
Yes, I do. Yes, I have good guy quotes and bad guy quotes.
Look at you go.
Yeah.
Okay, you start. You go for one.
Oh, let's see here. As a Christian, I have no duty to allow myself to be cheated, but I have the duty to be a fighter for truth and justice. Good guy or bad guy?
Going with good guy.
That would not be correct.
Damn
it.
Oh, really?
Hitler said that.
Of course. There's a lot of fucking quotes of him out there that could be used for this.
Yeah, you're probably right. Go ahead, Box.
So you're down 1. Okay. Let's go with...
God forbid he loses. He has to drink fucking water.
Yeah, right? We got to make it something difficult.
We'll put some Tabasco sauce in it so it butthole really burns when he poops.
Oh, that's not a problem. That already happens without the Tabasco.
Okay, what we have here, this one is, I have sworn to only live free. Even if I find bitter the taste of death, I don't want to die humiliated or deceived.
That's got to be a good guy.
Final answer? That is.
I hate when he does
That's
that.
That's incorrect. That was Osama bin Laden.
I never
Read that-
I would have
read
never
that again,
believed
Box.
that guy said something I agree with.
I have sworn to only live free. Even if I find bitter the taste of death, I don't want to die humiliated or deceived.
Well, I would say he died humiliated because I heard he was hiding behind his wife, but
Yeah, true.
we'll see, I guess. And that leads back to, like, how could someone like him have those beliefs? But when he grew up a certain way and he was only allowed to see, what what came out of that culture.
Well, you're a product of your environment.
100%. 100%.
You got to finish out
I
here.
gotta finish out 3 for 3.
The best argument against democracy is
The best part of waking up is Folgers in your cup.
That's incorrect.
Friend.
That is incorrect. The best argument against democracy is a 5-minute conversation with the average voter. Good guy or bad guy?
Ooh.
That could go either way, right?
Yeah, it really could.
Right? Just like
Kinda
Box.
like you.
Great minds think alike.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a tough one.
What was it? The best way to...
The best argument against democracy is a 5-minute conversation with the average voter.
I want to go good guy just because I've gone good guy on the other two, but I'm going to go good guy.
You're correct. Winston Churchill said that.
Oh, okay. You're 1 for 3 now?
Yeah.
This quote is, would you rather have butter or guns? Preparedness makes us powerful. Butter merely makes us fat.
Ooh. I like this guy.
Interesting.
God damn it.
Interesting.
I got to go good guy.
I'm sorry.
Oh, that's the way I would have guessed, too.
Yeah.
That was Hermann Goring, who was known for being one of the primary architects of the Third Reich of the Nazis.
Yep.
Real fucking psycho.
He established the Gestapo, secret political
Yeah.
police, and concentration camps for the corrective treatment of difficult opponents.
Even psychos like butter. That's the moral of the story.
I think he was speaking out against butter, Sam.
Yeah, he said butter makes them fat.
Oh.
Oh.
I really wasn't paying attention, apparently. All right, so
now I got to try and drink water upside down.
I guess so.
Yeah, but now if you get the hiccups, this is convenient for
Oh, great. Now there's some kind of fuzz that was inside the cup.
Don't worry, none of it's going in your mouth anyways.
All right, so
What
Johnson.
do I gotta do here?
Johnson,
Drink it upside down. Drink from the
Johnson's-
back side of the cup, I guess was the...
He lost, so he's got to drink from the backside of the cup. He's going to go up his nose, you think? How do you think he's going to do that?
I think he'll pull it off because he's Johnson and he can do weird shit like that.
He's damn near tipping over.
He's not... I don't think he can bend far enough, can you? Did you get it?
Come out my fucking nose. I took a couple of swigs, but I could feel it like trying to go up my sinus.
Kind of like a neti pot.
He said he could feel it going up his sinuses.
It's not the first time he felt something going up his sinuses.
Are we going to make him finish the whole cup?
Well, you don't have to finish the whole cup, Johnson. You just had to
Almost
drink.
gone.
Well,
Almost gone.
I don't want it back. That's cool.
Got a lot of beard hair in it. I'm going to stick my whole face inside the cup.
Yeah, a chin and a beard like yours aren't ideal for
I know.
that exercise.
Yeah. A normal person's chin with this beard would probably be fine, but my fucking enormous Jay Leno chin with the beard on top of it really doesn't help.
You did good. You did good.
So proud of you. Do you feel accomplished now?
Yeah.
You spilled some on your pants, actually.
Yeah, I did.
I don't know how, you must have did that when you were setting it back down. There's no way you got that.
I don't know how it got up here.
No, that would have been impressive.
Oh.
I was kind of expecting you to like get dizzy or something and fall on your head.
I was kind of worried about trying to go inverted there. Made me a little nervous.
You looked a little tipsy there for a second. I was kind of concerned.
Segue.
That was easy.
Ah,
I finished it for you.
Segue. That was easy.
God, I have such a smooth, soft voice.
Mm-hmm. And a face meant for radio.
Yeah.
So tell me about this Abolish the ATF bill, boys.
So there was a there was a bill introduced last week. It's Monday. Last week. Basically, I don't remember, it was something Memorial Firearms Preservation Act or something. And it's basically they're seeking out abolishing the ATF, taking the funds that are given to the ATF and dispersing them to family members of fallen officers from the Fast and Furious deal, and auctioning all firearms held by the ATF
Ooh, I like
to the
that.
public, and what was the other thing? They were going to nullify any rule changes or anything made by the ATF after August of 2020 or June of 2020, something like that. And then, abolish the ATF and basically kind of split out the duties of the ATF to other government agencies.
It's essentially what I read was getting rid of the ATF and making the FBI do the ATF's job, which I'm not sure if that's any better or not.
Right.
Probably not.
I'd guess not, but
Well, I like the premise of it.
Oh, absolutely. This was submitted by that Marjorie Taylor Greene. And
yeah.
I feel like it's just a grandstanding kind of thing.
Well,
it's not going to go
probably.
anywhere.
I
There's
don't
no,
know.
absolutely no fucking chance.
Well, even if it was a 100% Republican-controlled Congress, it wouldn't go anywhere
No.
anyway. Those are,
No.
it makes me feel nice in my pants, though, thinking about the ATF being abolished.
Yeah. Now,
I
if we could
suppose.
just get a bill about repealing the NFA.
Right?
right.
Some bitches.
Yeah, why didn't they include that in the bill?
I don't know.
Let's give the FBI,
Well, yeah.
the ATF's responsibilities to enforce the current laws, and then get rid of all these bullshit laws that the ATF came up with.
Yeah, like that. It's not like it has less of a chance of passing because the NFA, was in it. It's
Right?
not-
If she wanted a grandstand, why didn't she do that? Maybe she'll do that in a separate bill.
Yeah,
That sure would be nice.
I don't know.
Are you listening, Marjorie? Repeal the NFA.
And to fund the ATF.
Yep.
I don't have I guess there's not a whole lot to say about this. I mean, it is
No.
what it is.
It's a good bill. I mean, basically, just like everything else, you can call your representatives and tell them to support it, but I don't think it'll ever get out of subcommittee.
Yeah, there's no.
Let's
no
when
way.
when one of us wins the lottery, let's start a convenience store called the Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms. Ooh, and explosives.
Ooh,
That's
I like
my
the
favorite
explosives part. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be.
I mean, I like the other parts
Sell
except
C4
tobacco.
by the
I don't
quarter
give a shit
pound.
about that.
You think there's a like a black market
Convenience store?
convenience store like that?
I'm sure.
Like in a back alley or something.
Yeah, you could go and buy booze and guns and fire and
have you ever seen
explosives
people
and
walk through Khyber Pass?
walk
Get all
through
the
where?
Khyber Pass guns and shit
Well, I don't know. What,
over in the Middle East.
oh,
They make their own firearms and shit, and like
some of that shit.
do clone guns and like
Some of that shit's incredible.
really impressive stuff.
I seen one the other day that looks like an AR and an AK had a baby, and I don't know what the hell they were. I don't know how they did it. Like, cause they don't have mills and CNCs and
Right.
shit over there.
Yeah, so they take cut shovels apart and beat them with
Right,
rocks until
right.
they look like something.
I was fairly impressed.
Yeah.
It wasn't just like they cut part of it off and made it go together. Like they formed completely new receivers and all sorts of shit.
Yeah,
for
they
it.
do pretty impressive shit.
It was pretty sweet.
They were Iron Manning that shit in a cave.
Shit, yeah. Looked better than what Iron Man made.
Yeah.
So weird news. Let's move on to our
So
last
the
segment.
Weird news this week. I was scrolling through some funny stories, and this one really caught my eye. Massachusetts lobster diver survives being swallowed whole by a whale.
Oh, I heard about
I
this.
saw this.
So, commercial lobster diver says he was swallowed whole by a whale off the Massachusetts coast Friday, made it out alive with only minor injuries. So, 56-year-old dude was like 45 feet deep diving for lobsters when he was swallowed up by a humpback whale. And he said he was just cruising along and all of a sudden everything was just completely black. And he said he could like feel the whale squeezing on him and stuff, trying to swallow him down. And he said he just made as much commotion as he could. He could still breathe because he had all of his scuba gear on,
Right.
obviously.
Right.
But yeah, he was just fighting to beat hell. He said he was just wiggling around in there and trying to move as much as he could. The thing came up to the surface and spit his ass out.
I did hear about that. And actually there was one of the morning shows, I don't know, I must have been going to Lamar's or something. I was listening to the morning show. And they played this. They made some spoof of it. Humpback insurance for when you're diving and are swallowed by a humpback whale, you're covered. But I also saw there was a lot of experts that were saying, well, this can't be true because if you ascend from 45 feet to the surface very quick, you end up getting what they call the bends.
The bends. I don't think at 45
Mercedes?
feet. I don't think that's true at 45 feet.
I wouldn't think so because 45, and it doesn't say how long it took to ascend either. I wouldn't think that.
45 feet is pretty deep underwater. That's a lot of fucking pressure.
Yeah,
I mean,
but,
it's not that high, but 45 feet of water above you, that's a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what. We'll ask Siri, actually Google.
Maybe the
Why don't you ask Jeeves?
the whale's
Jeeves is really feeling left out.
the whale's mouth was pressurized, so it was fine. He was fine.
Would the bend? Okay, hold on here. Would the bends affect you at 45 feet deep in the ocean?
This is the top result.
I got the bend. That's all I got was the bend. Should we try one more time? How deep can the bends affect you in the ocean? It's not getting it says the bend.
There.
Pressure
You're a
injuries
terrible Googler.
At what depth do you get the bends? About 40%.
Oh, 16 to 20 feet.
Really?
I told you.
Depth at which you can get decompression sickness or the bends is more likely deeper than a dive to 5 to 6 meters. Oh, it's likely deeper than 16 to 20 feet. But it's basically saying 20 feet or more, yeah.
To survive a deep dive to 47 meters, okay, you must follow decompression stop limits. So basically, essentially, what's happening if you come up from that deep, you have to do it in stages, very slow. You can't just all the way up to the top. So a lot of these movies when they're in submarines or whatever, and they crash down at the bottom of the ocean, they swim up to the top as fast as they go. Yeah, they'd be fucked.
Yeah.
What exactly are the bends? Like, what are the symptoms of it? Do you know?
Oh, I know you get violently ill.
Yeah. It's freaking miserable. I hear it. And then, but what they do, they put you in a decompression to solve it. Like it's you can live through it. You can live through it. It's miserable, but they end up to solve it.
Decompression chamber and
Yep. So,
I saw an episode of House on this the other day. I should be able to tell this to you guys.
Yeah, that's a super always realistic show.
Yeah. How long do you think he was in this whale's mouth?
I don't know. I'm guessing a couple of minutes.
Jonah was in there for what, 40 days or how long was it?
I'm going to go ahead and guess it wasn't 40 days.
How long was it, Pete? How long was Jonah in the whale's mouth?
I was going to say, I think it was like 3 days.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
It rained for 40 days and 40 nights, but that's a completely different story.
There was a 4 in there somewhere.
Yeah, I was thinking of Jesus, apparently. Wait, Jesus didn't get swallowed. Oh, boy, this is a weird episode. Very strange.
Mm-hmm.
Very strange. But a good one. I enjoyed myself. You boys ready to call her king?
Unless we have anything other...
What was that?
Any other fun things to talk about? I'm sorry. That was weird.
I don't know how long this was, but it felt like decently lengthed.
That's not what she said.
Is that is length the word?
That's why he doesn't know how to say it. He's never heard it before. That feels like a decent length. What?
I like how I just make up words. My brain just like randomly makes words up.
Lengthed.
Yeah,
that sounds
that sounds fantastic.
That's called being stupid.
No, it's intelligent. I can make up words to
I have my own dictionary.
See, once again, you're mistaken. You're like, that's called illiterate.
You're like Ralph Wiggum.
No, I'm like Ricky from Trailer Park Boys.
Yes. The hell's kahake?
And he always gets his phrases wrong.
Yeah.
What was the one he said the other day?
It's just all water under the fridge.
Could get some of them jalapeno chips.
Good stuff. So yeah, thanks for hanging out, guys. Appreciate you sticking around. Check out our sponsors, Ballistic Imagery at ballistikimagery.com, as well as our Shyworks at shyworks.com. Also check out their social media. Make sure you subscribed. And if you enjoyed the podcast, tell us about it. Shoot us a line. Tell your friends about it. We always appreciate that. And make sure you check us out every other Wednesday night on the Life Short Live Free Facebook page. We go live at 8:30 Central Time. You can hop on and join in on the conversation and have a beer or two with us. And that's always a good time. So until we talk to you next time, remember, life short, live free, God bless, and God bless the United States of America.
And defund the ATF.
And repeal the NFA.
America.